like to thank you all for coming on this lovely evening. It's great that the weather is this nice and we can hold this ceremony outside. I'd like to welcome the students who have worked very hard over the past 12 years to get to this point tonight. I would like to thank our parents, grandparents, and other family members in attendance tonight for supporting us through our educational journey. I would like to extend a special thanks to my parents, specifically, for always pushing me to keep my grades up and to do my best in school. I'd like to thank all of the teachers from all three schools, as they have helped shape all of us in our own unique ways. I would like to specifically thank a few teachers, real quick, who have helped me both inside and outside of school over the past 4 years. So if you could just stand real quick. Mr. Mark Arrigo, Miss Becky Haller, Miss Marlena Mucciaroni, Mrs. Melinda Hotchkiss, and Mrs. Melissa Terhart. Sorry. These 5 teachers have made a lasting impact on me, and I know that I will never forget the things they taught me over the past 4 years. Just a round of applause for them, I guess. Over the next few minutes, I'm going to talk about 3 important things that have prepared us for life after high school: the past, the present, and the future. The past holds a special value to everyone sitting here tonight, both parents and students alike. The past is where we made most of our greatest memories, and as sad as it may sound, tonight will just turn into the past tomorrow. Going back, we had some great times in elementary school. Back in elementary school, we had many opportunities to make memories while learning valuable life lessons in the process. The class parties that we had for the holidays, such as the Halloween party, the Easter party, the Valentine's Day party, were always exciting, as the parents and the students, who didn't really know each other that well, could interact in a classroom environment. At this young age, we also got our first exposure to the fact that life is not fair. Every year, we would have our annual field day, which had a blue team and a gold team. At the end of the day, both teams, the blue team and the gold team, would both get a little plastic gold medal, regardless of who actually won all the events. And every year, without fail, after the handing out of the medals, the whole class would just bicker and fight over whether that second place team really deserved those medals or not. These arguments usually went on for like 20 minutes until the teacher finally calmed us down and we forgot about it. Until next year, of course. Gym class in elementary school was the big thing every week. Gym class taught us how to work as a team, but also taught us how to be competitive in what we do. Whenever we got to have gym class twice in a week, it was like hitting the lottery. Ms. Cooper would always manage to make physical activity fun with her many different fun activities. She would always give out little prizes to students as we played games to keep them motivated and, I guess, to just show some source of accomplishment for these students. They were usually given out periodically through the activity to kids who were doing what they needed to be doing. I'm sure everybody here remembers the obstacle course that we always ran every year. I think a few of the people in the audience actually set a few records that still remain to this day in that gymnasium. The fun in the obstacle course came from trying to beat our friends and trying to get the best time in the class. Sorry, my printer was a little iffy to read this. Didn't want to print anything. All right. Even when we moved up into the middle school, nobody could resist running that obstacle course over and over again, regardless of whether Mrs. Cooper wanted you to or not. Although our time in the elementary school was fun, it got even better once we got to the middle school. 5th grade was scary for all of us at first because many of us thought it would be something out of Ned's Declassified. We quickly found out that TV middle school was nothing like real-life middle school. At the start of 5th grade, we were all fascinated with the little school supply dispenser in the main lobby. 5th grade was the first time that many of us became passionate about one thing, and that thing was gel pens. I'm sure all of you remember. Gel pens were basically currency back then, and they loomed over us throughout our 6th grade year as well. In addition to this, we learned some great things in 5th grade. Mrs. Slavic, with the aid of her 2 dogs, Jack and Bear, taught us that work can actually be fun in the classroom, as long as you have a little encouragement on the side. Also in that class, we learned it's better to do work honestly than to just try and guess or cheat. Remember those AR tests we used to take and how every quarter we had a point goal? Well, one day somebody figured out that the Harry Potter books were worth a ton of points, and a bunch of us would just try and guess answers to get the points. None of us succeeded ever. Also in fifth grade, we learned how the human body works, a topic that many parents dreaded for years beforehand, the talk. As we moved on into sixth grade, we had pretty much figured out that if we acted right in school and didn't cause trouble, there would never really be any issues in school. Sixth grade was a fun experience as we went to Camp Fitch for a week. We had a lot of fun there in our groups, a lot of fun while doing the various activities around camp, and a whole lot of fun basically harassing Jono because of his awesome accent. There weren't very many interesting things that happened in seventh grade, however. In seventh grade, we learned that being a monk is hard when Mr. Masuga is standing over you with a spray bottle full of water. In eighth grade, we learned to trust no one. In eighth grade, tabletopping became a very popular pastime. You could and would get tabletopped anywhere, in the halls, outside, or even in a classroom if somebody was brave enough. For those of you who don't know what I'm talking about, just ask somebody in the student section there. They'll let you know about that. The tabletopping epidemic had everyone on edge until people started growing bored of this activity. I actually know a few people who tried to bring it back in high school, and I am so glad that they didn't, because that would not be very exciting. Moving on, I'm going to talk about the present. I use the word present lightly, as I'm going to be talking about our time in high school as a whole. When we first arrived at the high school, we once again worried that high school would be like a high school on TV, where people were getting shoved into lockers, or just bullied for no reason. Like middle school, we found out after a few days that that was not the case. We discovered in high school that we could just carry our backpacks around instead of using a locker, and we also discovered the many clubs and organizations here at school. All these clubs and organizations promoted the idea of getting involved around the school, which some people in this audience have done for all 4 of their years in high school. During our freshman year, a handful of us learned why it's never a good idea to take a foreign language class online. That year was a little rough for the 9 or 10 of us who took that online Spanish course. Let's just say the combination of putting off your work plus Mr. Hunter being in charge of the program did not go that well. Sophomore year, like Rhiannon said, was pretty much the most forgettable out of all our years in high school. Sophomore year was just a blur of schoolwork and extracurricular activities. We didn't really have anything fun to do during that time.
Really?
Junior year rolled around, and this is when people started getting more and more serious about school. Many of us learned that we needed to do better at multitasking. There were many of us who tried to juggle test prep, college preparations such as visits, entrance, paperwork, and all that, among sports, among our schoolwork, and some of us couldn't really do it that well. But that's all right, because everybody got back to what they needed to be, got back to where they needed to be, and we kept going. Junior year is also, this year, junior year, our whole school got a little impromptu science lesson about cars and fire. One day, Miss Haller's car caught on fire, and everybody on that side of the school had to go to the cafeteria. Everyone in that cafeteria, whether they made it public or not, was really hoping that that car would explode and we'd just miss school for a while. Unfortunately, this was not the case, and the fire department put out the fire and we had to go back to class. Now, we move on to this past year, our senior year, full of a mix of excitement and anxiety. We were excited to finally be able to participate in things like Powder Puff, and we were also all excited to see who would be on the homecoming court. In the end, Christian was the Grand Marshal and Katie won Queen. Congratulations again. Another big part of our school this year, or our school year, happened when the football team went 8-2 this year and went to the playoffs for the first time in over 10 years. As the year progressed, more and more of these students here tonight decided what they want to do with their lives and decided where they want to attend college. Many of these students, as some of you may know, were honored at Senior Awards Night. After Senior Awards Night, however, only one thing was on our minds, and that was prom. Prom was so much fun, and so was the after prom. It was exciting to see who won Prom King and Queen, which were Zach and Kelsey. Congratulations again. And now we're here, sitting here, getting ready to graduate high school. We're ready to receive our diplomas and get out in the real world. Now it's time to talk about moving forward. Just think about it. This is the last time that we will all be together in the same place. Sure, class reunions exist, but let's be real, not everyone will attend these class reunions. After today, life will change for all of us. For some of us, it will change for the better. For some of us, it will change for the worse. Many of these changes are dependent on what we all choose to do once we leave here tonight. Many people here will be attending college in the fall. Some people here will be going into the armed forces. Some people here will go straight into the workforce. Others will find their own path in life. What this other path is, I have no idea. Maybe somebody sitting here tonight will be the next Bill Gates. We don't know. I know one thing for sure. Everyone here will set a goal for themselves that they want to achieve, or a dream that they want to reach. We will all work hard to achieve this dream, but some of us may fall short on the first, second, third, or even fourth attempt. If you fall short, don't let that affect you. Get back up and keep trying to achieve your dreams. With a lot of hard work and dedication, you can make your dreams a reality. If life ends up knocking you down, don't give up. Get back up and keep going. I brought a quote from the movie Rocky Balboa, or as some of you may know it as Rocky 6, that inspires me, and I look at it whenever I need a little motivation in my life. Let me tell you something you already know. The world ain't all sunshine and rainbows. It's a very mean and nasty place, and I don't care how tough you are. It will beat you to your knees and keep you there permanently if you let it. You, me, or nobody is going to hit as hard as life. But it ain't about how hard you get hit. It's about how hard you can get hit and keep moving forward. How much you can take and keep moving forward. That's how winning is done. Now, if you know what you're worth, then go out and get what you're worth. But you gotta be willing to take the hits and not pointing fingers, saying you ain't where you want to be because of him, her, or nobody. Cowards do that, and that ain't you. You're better than that. I'm always gonna love you no matter what happens. You're my son and you're my blood. You're the best thing in my life. But until you start believing in yourself, you ain't gonna have a life. This is one thing that I want you all to take from my speech. Life is gonna be rough, and nothing you can do will change that. I can personally attest to this, as I've had to deal with a lot of obstacles and hurdles to get to this point today. There were many times where I just wanted to give up, let life roll right over me, just lay down and give up. But I didn't, which is why I stand here today. I'd like to end on another quote about life that I hold true to my heart. This quote comes from the old TV series Deadwood, which aired from 2004 to 2006, so some of you in the audience may know about it. Pain or damage don't end the world, or despair, or beatings. The world ends when you're dead. Until then, you got more punishment in store. Stand it like a man and give some back. Thank you, and have a good night.